Hey guys, Marsingin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we got the EZA details for TEQ Kale and Caulifla this morning, and definitely seen some interesting responses. I think this is another one of those situations of people not really being able to properly gauge like just how good the unit is from reading the unit descriptions. I've already seen comments from people saying that they don't think that they're very good, but we actually have already seen now some people using like the private server to showcase the EZA early, and these guys are absolutely insane. So I put up this tweet. It'll be interesting to see where the positions of the community are as of the morning when the details actually got posted, because it's always fun to do these videos and see the initial response from the community and see what people are feeling like when it comes to this unit. So EZA, TEQ Kale and Caulifla community response. Let's just go ahead and jump straight in. So we have our boy Proton, very solid EZA, more dodge at the start and quickly gets to over 350k defense per stack. Universe 6 got a very good upgrade. Yeah, this is really good. We talked about in the details video, right? They have 70% chance to dodge on their first turn. If they attack 3 times in that turn, which they pretty much always will, they have 90% chance to dodge on their second turn, which is crazy. And I've seen screenshots now from these private server showcases. I'm assuming it's from the best RNG turn where they get 4 supers, because of course they have an additional in their passive that has a chance to be a super. Then they get a guaranteed additional super if they have the Universe Survival Saga ally, and then you could get the hidden potential. But I've seen a screenshot of them literally on their second appearance having over 2 million defense, which is insane, right, for a stacking unit. So they look very, very strong. Universe 6 getting a good upgrade, 100%. This is exactly what that team needed, right? I think the Universe 6 team still needs more, as we talked about in the video from yesterday, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, right? So our boy Raldo, first of all, news while I'm asleep, I'm going to cry. The unit is good. I need to see how Kefla is going to perform though, since she wasn't given a whole lot. Maybe enough to be self-sufficient after stacking a lot with Kale and Caulifla. Yeah, so I've seen like, even on turns where, because the stacking you do keep a lot of the buffs, but it doesn't work in the same way. You don't keep all the defense, right? So someone showed a screenshot of the Gogeta active skill turn, like turn 10, and TEQ Kale and Caulifla had like 10 million defense, but then when you fuse into Kefla, she has like 3 million. But you have to remember that her start of turn defense is not going to look as impressive, but when she gets hit, she gets 200% extra defense. So if she's got 3 million defense start of turn, as soon as she takes that first attack, she's actually got 9 million defense. And then when she supers, she greatly raises, which is a 50% raise. So yeah, defensively, they are absolutely insane. And as Proton pointed out, like they stack very, very quickly. So AC says, I think Universe 6 with this unit is a very viable team. Very high dodge chance with high defense is fine by me. Can't wait to see the numbers Kefla is putting out after all the greatly stacking. Yeah, because remember, they stacking attack and defense. And then once you fuse into Kefla, she infinitely stacks attack. So definitely going to be hitting incredibly hard. Then we have Annie saying, easily good enough, one of the most basic main EZAs we've gotten in a while, but extremely effective. We want to see stats, but I would not be surprised if they're Kid Goku and hit level, yeah, which they very clearly are. Then we have one of the regulars in these comment sections, Goth Kua, who is someone who for some reason just hates all superclass characters and only likes extreme units. But they do say, don't get me wrong, they're good, but not for me. So it just is what it is. Our boy Mega Nice, the Sigil Summon Menace. While Festival of Battles does not matter, it's still nice to have a unit that can be good there. Very true. I will keep championing on the side of Festival of Battles is not an event that matters at all. It's a one and done and then you never touch it again event. But for those of you who haven't been able to beat it yet, obviously this unit is going to be a great upgrade, because of course they're on the full 220 lead for the TEQ Vegito, who is still probably the best leader for that event. So they're going to be very, very good. The real Mark says it's time for me to take on the festival again. Yeah, I would have loved it if they gave the girls guard and rainbow orb changing for Kale, since she needs orbs. Kefla does have orb changing, so that can be helpful. Could have been like starting from turn 7 so it doesn't clash with Kale and Caulifla's field changing. Yeah, I mean, I think the orb changing that they have is still going to be helpful for Kale, especially because the orbs that you want to get with TEQ Kefla, whilst it does give her a buff, it's not like a one of those do or die, like if you don't get the 6 orbs then she's not very good. So you could on that turn, if you wanted to, prioritize giving the orbs to Kale so that she gets the extra attacks, and I do think that will still work pretty well. Clem says, honestly, after this celebrations units with 100 moving parts and wonky conditions, it's good to just have a really simple great kit to work with. Yeah, I definitely can see that, right? This is one of those 2021 units they didn't get too much of a chance until the red zone, so a win overall. Yeah, there's a batch of units that came out in a certain time period where they were pretty good on release, and then the red zone came out and they just weren't good. Like, especially if they were units that took a while to build up, right? So a lot of those units never really got the chance to shine. Like Hitku was one of them, and obviously they got a good EZA. AGL Future Gohan and Trunks is another one, and they'll have an EZA sometime soon. So yeah, definitely that is a good point. Hansi says, I'm not complaining, could have some damage reduction though. It says there she gains 200% defense when she gets hit. How much do you think she's going to take if she doesn't dodge? Well, again, now that we've seen some of the calcs, like she very easily, she only needs to be at 2 million defense start of turn, and then when she gets hit that would be 6 million, which is basically how hard like Jiren hits, right? So one of the hardest hitting red zone bosses we have at the moment, Kefla will tank their supers as long as she has over 2 million defense, which, judging by the screenshots that I've seen, it does not take you very long to get her to that point. And remember, like we said in the details video earlier, it's not like you have to fuse into Kefla immediately on turn 6, so you can keep stacking the base Kale and Caulifla, and then by the time you transform, like if Kefla's rocking like 3 to 4 million defense start of turn, she's basically invincible, right? Which is crazy. So then we have Soul says, I'm happy and excited to use them in game with the tag version. Yep, obviously very, very good to be run with the new LR. That's exactly what we wanted. Ultras says, busted version of STR EZA Kefla. I mean, yeah, this unit probably, just by going what I've seen so far on screenshots, and obviously I want to use them myself, I will of course do a showcase for them when the EZA is live, and then I probably won't do my next tier list until after we've actually used them in game. But I could see them probably being the best new EZA, like TUR, from stuff that I've already seen so far. But we'll have to wait and see. The only thing I wish both sides had were rainbow orb changing. Other than that, I can't stop winning with the Universe 6 girls. Yeah, rainbow orb changing would be good. Like Kefla has tech orb changing, but I think rainbow orb changing probably would be more useful both for her and for Kale, because it would technically help both of them on the same rotation. Because if they change a whole bunch of orbs into tech, obviously only one character can pick up that cluster of orbs, whereas if they bake a bunch of rainbow orbs, that could connect a whole bunch of different paths together so that both Kale and Kefla could get 6 orbs, right? But either way, the fact that they do have orb changing as Kefla is very good. Sky says, really good EZA. As a huge Universe 6 fan, this makes me happy. But where is the sub EZA? Why do they refuse to give you a whole team to work with? I know, right? That's the big thing that we were saying earlier. Like, it's such a shame that they didn't give us the Int Kaba sub EZA to go along with this, because, as I've said already in this video, right, like Universe 6 is the team that needed more than just one new unit to be good. So whilst this Kefla is really, really good, like the Universe 6 team does need more than that, really. But be interesting to see. I mean, apart from having a Universe Survival Saga ally restriction, like they're not stuck on being on a Universe 6 team, right? So if you wanted to run them on like a Pure Saiyans team or the Tech Vegito team or something like that, all you have to do is throw on any other Universe Survival Saga character, and then you'll be fine. And there's characters like the Physical 17 and Frieza, who after they've attacked still have an insanely high level of damage reduction, still very good defensively, and they have no real restrictions, as an example, right? So any team you could throw them on, you could use this TEQ Kale and Caulifla and still get their full potential, which is interesting. Ultra says, they seem pretty good but won't be saving the Universe 6 team in my opinion. Pretty solid overall, be a good fit alongside the new Carnival LR on Hits team. Yeah, very true. That's the thing, just a pure Universe 6 team is still not going to be super top tier, but obviously Hit can have a lot of the other characters on his team with that accelerated battle leader skill, so they're going to work very, very well with him. I wish they changed the Universe Survival Saga restriction to tournament participants, but otherwise they look great. In fact, that is a good point to the previous comment as well. Like on Hit's team, they will be very good, but you've got to remember Hit doesn't count as a Universe Survival Saga character because he's from the previous arc, the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament. So as this person says, Flavor Blasted Tyrannosaurus, which is a great name. If they changed it to tournament participants, that would be really good because it would work with Int Hit. But even so, I don't think it's a very bad restriction. I think that's fine. So we like that. Simon88 says, yeah, I think she's really decent. People will always want more from a unit, but I think she fits the teams she's on perfectly and will help with certain missions people are struggling with. Hopefully the rest of the EZAs will be this good for the rest of the year. I mean, yeah, this is one of those examples of, it's like you point to this and you're like, this is what we want the EZAs to be like, right? Because her EZA seems really, really good. None of these like middle of the road or just straight up disappointing EZAs. We want more like this for the rest of the year. So that is very true. Frieza and Goku Defense Force says they seem good, but only having dodge with the hard fights being as they are now is so annoying. I think they're still scared of AGL Super Saiyan 4 and having a strong slot 1 Power Beyond Super Saiyan character on TEQ Vegeto's 200%. Well, fortunately, as we said, now that we've seen the calcs, it's not going to matter, right? If you keep them in their base TEQ Kale and Caulifla form until you get all the way to, like, for example, Jiren, or the stage that disables dodge, at that point, like, Kale and Caulifla themselves are going to have insanely high raw defense, and then once you fuse into Kefla, she's going to have ridiculously high defense as well. So once you get to the actual dodge cancelling part of those fights, their defense is going to be high enough that it's not really going to matter. And of course, they are a Power Beyond Super Saiyan character, so that is a really good point. They do get that massive buff from the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right? So Naga says they look usable, definitely, like they'll have 90% dodge on their second appearance. A lot of people overlook that, I think, as well. Like turn 2, they got a 90% chance to dodge, but again, now that we've seen the calcs, like if turn 2 they've got 2.5 million defense, there's not a lot of events where that's going to be a huge issue if they don't dodge. But yeah, 90% dodge on the second turn is really good. Solus says, never liked the unit personally since I hate when they release characters in base who barely fought in base. Should have been Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla and Super Saiyan 1 Kale. They do look very good though. I'm glad they fixed the enemy category restriction. Yes, adding the ally as well as the enemy for Universe Survival Saga is a massive W for their passive. They would be considerably worse without that, right? Metro 55 or 59 says, they're absolutely insane. Top tier, blew my expectations out of the water. We've got the Shaq meme. I owe you an apology, I wasn't familiar with your game. Because, yeah, they definitely seem absolutely crazy. Actually, yeah, someone has posted one of the screenshots we can see here. But first we'll read this comment from Ophelia. It says, I love them, at least the third best TUR overall. Starting to think they're better than Kid Goku. Here's a little tougher, but that argument exists for Kale and Caulifla. They're actually so much better than I expected them to be, even better than what I would have done. I mean, from the stuff I've seen, they probably are better than Kid Goku because of his restrictions. Whereas obviously they are a pure Saiyan character as well that can be run on a lot of these teams. But yeah, this is a screenshot. Now bear in mind, they do have the Universe Survival Saga support memory active. But yeah, this is their, turn 3. They've done 4 super attacks. So they've been on the rotation like one time. They did 4 attacks and they were all supers. And they've got 2.5 million defense. Which also means they have 90% chance to dodge because they had the 3 attacks in that turn as well. So this is what we're working with. And bear in mind, they're going to get a couple more supers on this turn. So then by the start of the next turn, they're going to be well over 3 million, potentially even getting to 4 million. So at that point, you don't even need to worry about fusing into Kefla. Because in those early turns of the fights, like 3 turns, like 3, 4, 5, 6, like having 4 million raw defense is good enough for most of these bosses. And then when you get to the final phases and they're hitting for 4 to 6 million, these guys are going to be at that level, or fusing into Kefla, who is then going to be at that level. So absolutely crazy. Violet says they're so good. I honestly expected them to get the 2025 treatment, but Dokkan cooked. Very true. Sly says basic and effective, but has no backbone to help them from dying against big time bosses. Again, this comment was made absolutely before like the screenshots have been seen, right? Because the biggest bosses just won't be able to deal damage to them if you get enough stacks with them. I think we've been in this meta now for a long time where there used to be back in the day in Dokkan, if you just had really, really high raw defense, then nothing could really do damage to you. And obviously we kind of went past that once bosses started hitting way into the millions because characters weren't stacking that high with their raw stats. But this Kefla, both Kale and Caulifla and the Kefla Fusion form are both going to be stacking their defense so high that even the hardest hitting bosses actually don't deal damage to them. So that is really good. Kefla got that new ability. Yes, this whole thing, right? This is what Kid Goku has. Somebody else got it recently. The AGL Goku part of the Gogeta from the anniversary. 200% defense when receiving an attack is an absolutely insane buff. And I need people to realize like how crazy that is. Because that is what takes it so that if Kefla has 2 million defense start of turn, it means when she takes a hit, she actually has 6 million defense, which is ridiculous, right? And then, yeah, she does all that while continuing to stack. Then once you've fused into Kefla, not only do you get that 200%, but then she greatly raises on her own super attacks. So she's absolutely ridiculous. Slump God says they seem really good. Can't wait to use them. Dokkan says not sure how good they is. Want to try it out, but on paper they look good. I mean, which is fair. We should always reserve judgment until we see them in game. But obviously now we have seen some of those screenshots and stuff, right, and some clips. This is where I would place my thoughts about the EZA if I even had the unit in the first place. Oof, unfortunate. Sane Man says they seem really good, greatly stacking, can quad super in base, really defenses as Kefla, so you could YOLO her in slot 1 with that dodge. Yeah, realistically, like, as soon as she's getting to 2 to 3 mil defense, she can just go in slot 1, which is crazy. Competing with Tech Cell for best EZA TUR, if not even better. Yup, I think so too. One of my favourite units, done justice. Very good, all around solid, and then makes me wish they didn't hold back so much of AGL Kale and Caulifla's EZA. Yeah, they'll get a super EZA one day, but I think they're quite far down the list of like summonable LRs, so I don't think we'll see that anytime soon. But yeah, there you go. So I think a lot of the comments seemingly before the screenshot started coming out, people maybe being a little bit cautiously apprehensive. But now that people are seeing the stats, a lot of people very, very happy with the overall quality of this EZA. So keep an eye out. I'll do the team building guide for their EZA tomorrow because we should get the data download. Obviously, as of right now, we don't know what the category weakness for their EZA will be. So I'll make that team building guide tomorrow. And then, of course, it should come out on Tuesday morning. So we will get them EZA'd and get a showcase for them done and see how they stack up to these other EZA TURs, but they seem absolutely incredible. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Obviously, with these posts, I always make these and leave them for a few hours so that people get a chance to reply. If you did reply and you don't see it in the video, then potentially, you know, it was the gap between when I recorded it and then uploaded it that you put your comment on there. So do let us know in the comment section here on the video what your thoughts are on the TEQ Kale and Caulifla EZA. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.